This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe, and let's get right into the news. All right, so as we know, Offset album didn't chart this week. You know, it's a bad time to be a rapper. 8,000 units on a major is sad. I'm going to say it's very sad. It doesn't make sense. And really, you got to wonder how artists like BG, you know, I hate to throw him under the bus, okay? But BG's not dropping the best music now. A bunch of other artists that aren't really dropping the best music now, but they're still look like they're something. How are they actually making their money? It must be just bookings. It's got to be just bookings off their old catalog. Now, the good thing about BG is he has a catalog that was classic, so he's always going to get booked somewhere. Same with Turk. Turk's got classic stuff. He's going to get booked somewhere. He's legendary. He's a legacy act at this point. Offset will always have money because he has old work, old hit records, and he'll be booked. But it might be over for new material. We're in a weird place. Really, honestly, most music is trash out here. I'm not even talking about Offset. I'm not even going to name artists because someone might get in their feelings. But it's that mumble auto-tune crap. And it's hurting the music business. It's over, bro. Unless things change, and things will have to change. Things are going to be low for a while. Until things change, album sales won't spike. Until there's more inclusivity in hip-hop, as it was made to be, there's going to be a lot less money being made. And a lot more gatekeeping needs to happen. And that's not going to happen. It's impossible with technology. We already talked about this YNW Melly's friend allegedly trying to involve NBA YoungBoy. I don't know how he would get involved in this case with Zach Chaser and Juvie dying, but hey. All right, so here we go. So Gucci Mane was on The Breakfast Club with his wife a while back. I love that he's married. He has shown a lot of growth. He's more mature now. You don't see a lot of outbursts. But his wife threw him under the bus. She supports him, and I love that. But she's also trying to get more of the credit, like, you guys don't know what I have to go through. I have to feed him his pills. I have to take his phone away. Like he's a child, right? And Gucci Mane's just looking at her, confused and kind of like smacking his lips like he can't speak. Deb Antney responds to this. She says, oh, and then also Keisha Kior says, and none of his friends should be uplifting him and keeping him around, not encouraging him to do bad stuff. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something. She is looking for the credit that a lot of people have kept Gucci Mane alive. Deb Antney, you can say what you want about her. Maybe she had some problems with OJ the Juice Man and those are from her being overwhelmed with too many artists, I think. But I can tell you this much. She carried Gucci for years because Gucci Mane was, I can tell you from experience, Gucci Mane was out of his mind. And that's what made him so charismatic. And he was a good person, but he was out of his mind, bro. Out of his mind from like 2004 to the time he went to jail. It just got worse and worse and worse with different substances he was using. He would tell me to meet him somewhere and he wouldn't even be in Atlanta. He wouldn't even be in Atlanta. He would be like in California, but he'd be like, yo, meet me in the studio tonight. Maybe thinking he'd be in the studio, but decided to stay in California. Maybe he thought he was going to fly back. I have no idea. Once he had me go to Miami, at this point, I would send somebody else to make sure it was even anything work was going to be done. If there was, I would have caught a flight. My friend stayed in the hotel the whole weekend. Gucci Mane put him in a room, never came out. I mean, it's just Gucci Mane. There's a lot of stories like that. But Gucci Mane was a good dude. He was funny and all that. But he was a little wild. So then he went to jail. He got his life straight, got off, drugs, and dealt with whatever was going on with his mind. But his wife shouldn't let anybody know this stuff. That's my point. If Gucci Mane wants to talk about his struggles and his wife helping him, sure. But she was straight up just talking for him. Let him say it. She knows that, okay? Her Jamaican roots should tell her, let the man be a man. It's just in the culture, bro. Let a man be a man. I know that sounds misogynistic and everything, but I'm just talking about that. She always wants to tap into her Jamaican roots when she wants to. I'm telling you, she grew up in America. She came here when she was like a baby. But anyways, some people that's called like, I grew up around kids like this in the Bronx that their parents were from Jamaica, but they were born and raised here. They're still Jamaican, but I'm just saying they would be like, yeah, Jamaica. You don't know anything about, you ain't lived there. Like, you know from your parents, And Deb just said it's just disgusting because it's like Deb said, I saved him so many times. I had to like nurse him back to life. She wouldn't even know him if it wasn't for me keeping him alive. And I never spoke about it. She didn't. She kept it a secret. She treated Gucci Mane like one of her kids. She was a good manager. But the business overwhelmed her. And sometimes when you do so much like that, you'd think okay, I don't want to get too much into this because I'm not saying Deb's a bad person, but once you overdo what a manager is supposed to, sometimes you feel like you deserve a little bit more, And I think that's what strained their relationship. Kevin Gates with a message, don't know guy want a washed up girl. And he says, every guy want a young hole. He said something like that. I was like, dude, this guy's crazy, bro. He says, don't want a young hole. Yeah, every dude want a young hole. You don't want to eat. If you don't like it, you can read it. It's just, Kevin Gates is crazy. Now, Kevin Gates' old work is with Ray J now. These guys just, it's disgusting, bro. These guys share women. You guys are all smashing the same girls. That's what I don't like about the music business. Drake getting into a fight at Turks and Caicos after they gave his section away. That's trash. He shows a lot of love to Turks and Caicos. They did him dirty. So Max B's home, got a lot of jewelry. He got even more jewelry. I'll show you in a minute. Probably got gifted like $400,000 of jewelry. Get this guy a house and a car, please. Not just clothes and jewelry. We don't even know if he can sell records right now. I'm so glad Max B's home. Don't get me wrong. I went with Max B to court twice. Cried with him in the car. Bro. Because it was so heartbreaking. Because I knew he shouldn't be going to jail. Okay, we'll get to this in a minute. But shout out to 1090 Jake for actually breaking down Max B's paperwork correctly. They're taking excerpts out of paperwork where he described where his girlfriend worked. They knew where she worked. They knew she was a dancer. Max B was arrested, and all he was doing was repeating information they already told him they knew. Yeah, she works at such and such. That's not snitching. Telling her where she works. They knew it. She was already under arrest. The only reason they arrest Max B is because they arrested her already, and she snitched on him. And his stepbrother, I thought it was his brother, his stepbrother is the one who pulled the trigger and blew the guy's head off, and that's why he's doing it for life. Max B wasn't even there, and that's what was so heartbreaking to me, is that Max B just happened to be on a phone call with her. She set the play up, and the stepbrother went along and did it with her. Max B had nothing to do with it. He wasn't in the parking lot waiting or nothing. He had no means to do anything in that. It was these two trying to get more money. She set some dude up from the club. That's what happened. Max B happened to be her boyfriend, and they tried to charge him with conspiracy because she got her time reduction because she told on Max B, and there was nothing to tell on. She made up a story, and it stuck. Then Max B had a horrible lawyer, got 75 years, and they were able to appeal that 4 or 5 years later when they could show that the lawyer was incompetent, and they gave him a lesser charge where he got 17 years or something like that, or 20 years, and then he got out on the first parole date, which is the 2025. Some people are saying he could have got out earlier if they could prove he's not guilty, but that would have cost a ton of money that nobody was going to put up for him. No, he already was out on $1 million bail, right? Which I think is like, what do you got to put down? 10%, 5%. Then he had to pay the lawyer for that last case, so that cost a lot. To do a whole nother case would have cost a couple $100,000. Who was going to put that up? Who was going to put that up? You could say French, but like there was no guarantee he was going to come home. And maybe they just decided like, yo, just let it rock. You know, Jim Jones is in the bed watching all this Max B stuff. Tight. Max B got engaged last night to, I think this is a girl he married while he was in jail. French was at the party. Everybody was there. Aviani was there. Fabio Foreign came through, which he didn't even know Max, so he just came through to show love. Bobby Shmurda, I think, popped up. These are just guys that were inspired by Max. Even a lot of people were inspired by Max. So Max got put a ring on her. A Boogie, he didn't go through, but he always talks about being inspired by Max B. This is Max B's new chain by Aviani. That's dope. It's good. Max B's doing big things, man. Fat Joe wears this jacket, and they say, what did he say? They're going to call me Stun? Oh, because pun stun? No. Someone said, I heard that jacket was in Vietnam when you fought the war. He said, better not let Birdman hear that. He's bringing Averex back. I thought they called Joey Cook Cap. Oh, man. Anyways. And then True Life, if you know from the DVD days. He said, I have no interest in speaking on OBs from 30 years ago. Won some, lost some. All that is behind me. I've accomplished so much since I've been home, but y'all don't want to talk about that. Beyonce Lemonade? How was he? What did he have to do with that? Mogul Tree Management? What did you have anything to do with this? Mogul Tree. Okay, whatever. And then it says, he said, Max B, glad you back with your family, Brody. Now it's time to turn up. Ain't nobody trying to do no music with True Life. I like True Life for him changing his life around. I'm just being real, bro. That's what I do. Keep it real. I don't know True Life. True Life was like too much for me back then. He was always trying to go at Joel's and everybody for what? I don't know. Anyways, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe. I'll check you guys in the next one. If you want to run ads to the channel, jordantowermedia@gmail.com. Peace.